right. Hello, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington with Discover Brightside, and Wallet Hub is a free resource that is really good for you, and we're launching it on the show with April being the literacy month. So over to you, Chip. Tell us all about it.
Thank you for having me, folks. Wallet Help is primarily, excuse me, a personal finance website. It's essentially one-stop shopping for financial literacy. So essentially every month is Financial Literacy Month at Wallet Hub. We have a number of tools available, such as credit score checking, which you can check every single day. And to piggyback on what Donna had talked about earlier, is that when you're checking your credit score, the myth is that it's going to affect your credit score. That is absolutely not true. You can check your credit score as many times a day as you like. It's not going to affect your credit score. Now, our website uses TransUnion, the credit bureau, and it updates daily. Check your credit report, check your credit history. We have a number of other valuable tools for financial literacy. We also have the budgeting apps, which were discussed earlier. We have 24/7 credit monitoring. And all you have to do is just sign up for a free account. And we do have tiers depending on how advanced or how in depth you want your financial literacy to be, because financial literacy is the key to financial well being. Look at it as if you were learning how to play a sport or play a musical instrument. It's all grounded in the fundamentals. You master the fundamentals, and ultimately, you'll be successful. Now, as far as Wallet Hub, we also do a number of data-driven studies in order to help consumers and just everyday households make better decisions beyond just personal finance. For example, in tune with Earth Day, we have a couple of studies out there on the greenest cities and the greenest states in the country. And this is all data driven. It's no opinion based whatsoever. So we just crunch the numbers and the data speaks for itself. And this allows consumers a, sort of an overall snapshot of how your state or how your city, now we only talk about the largest cities, how you're doing in terms of environmental friendliness, which, as we know, is a combination of sound public policy and individual responsibility. So those two have to kind of mesh together in order to be completely, soundly environmentally friendly.
Yes, so tell us what are the great states that are green according to your study. And Bill is the expert, so he can challenge you on that.
Now it's interesting because when it comes to the green states, well, well, before we do that, let's do a quick overview of the cities, and then we'll kind of segue into the states, which I found to be interesting. Now, we did a study of the top 100 greenest cities, and at least five or six of those are in the top 10, by San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, and San Diego. Washington, D.C. is at number two, and San Diego is at number six. Now, but what's interesting is that Vermont is more or less considered the greenest state overall. California is third. They do struggle in one area, which is of overall environment, because now you do have major urban centers like Los Angeles, in which, in spite of all the efforts, pollution and with the high traffic is still a problem. But California ranks number three in our study of the 50 states, which is still pretty solid because you do have a lot of these larger cities that are pushing sound environmental policies. And there's a lot of individual responsibility in California also. But when you're going green, you have to be careful though, because there is this point where green intersects with economic growth. And I think some of the states that don't do as well in our study, you'll find states like West Virginia, one, for example, that maybe there's some pushback on a lot of the environmental policies because they're deemed as being maybe a threat to the overall economy, which, is energy driven in a state like West Virginia.
Yeah, I thought that some of those facts were quite shocking because they weren't states that I would normally think would be green. But I guess California has always led with green. What do you think, Bill?
Well, I'm right with him. I think the whole planet is greening as a whole over the last three, almost 4 decades now. So I'm all with green. Unfortunately, I just live in a state that's not very green, Utah. It's very dry here, but not that I love the forest, but don't have. Well, I live up in the mountains, and I love that too. So
Well, Bill, I live in Columbia, South Carolina, where the state slogan is, and I'm not kidding, famously hot.
I was stationed there back in the Army at Fort Jackson.
Jackson, yes, I live right on the outskirts and about 15 miles from the fort. You can hear the training exercises a lot right from our bedroom window.
And I agree with you. I love the pine tree nature of the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, and I'm just now getting over all the allergies from the pollen. We haven't had any rain enough of a rain yet, but it's coming this weekend, so we'll be done with that once and for all.
All right. Well, that there you have it. Now you know the facts. We'll do global in August when we do our global presentation, and Chip and I will talk about health and wellness next month, and get you some more tidbits and research. So tell us if you think the city that you live is green enough, and what does the mayor have to do so that you can write him a letter and tell him what improvements he could have and what learnings we could have from the great state of California. So thank you, Chip, for both Wallet Hub, which is a free resource, and I'll make sure all the attendees get to sign up for it, as well as for some great information. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you.